Amen. You can always judge the character of a person by the way he treats his fellow man. Jeffrey Archer. A curious moment we are in. We pay final homage to Khayelihle Kenneth Mthiyane, ubaba, umkhulu, umzala, usbar, a dedicated husband, ubabwak, ukk, an esteemed jurist and an active citizen of our beloved nation, South Africa. On behalf of the entire Mthiyane family, I invite you to join as I pay last respects to the pillar of the Mthiyane family and a life well lived. Kenneth Khayelihle Mthiyane is the son of Toby Eslina Umanqumalo and Ndwedwe Philip Mthiyane, who have both gone to be with the Lord. Justice Mthiyane was born on the 13th of September 1944 in Mthiyane. What a day that was, when the earth gained a soldier, a humble yet gigantic soldier. Ubaba lost his young sibling at an early age and his father Ndwedwe Mthiyane at the age of 4. Umanqumalo subsequently got remarried, and Justice Mthiyane gained a brother, Udumsani Hlophe, who has also gone to be with the Lord. The loss of his father at a tender age of 4 acted both as a huge challenge and a source of inspiration for Justice Mthiyane, who was now being raised by a young single mother, Osebenze Makishin, Umanqumalo, my father's all-time hero and role model. Justice Mthiyane's response in an interview when asked about people who inspire him, these were his words: "My mother played a role of a father and a mother for many years. She was my guide, my star, my everything. I can't think of any other role model other than my mother." The tragic and unexpected loss of his sister, then his father, forced their relocation from his place of birth, Mzinyati, to Mkumbane. This disruptive set of circumstances early on in his life would go on to significantly shape his formative years. Given the dire circumstances and living conditions in Mkumbane, Justice Mthiyane's entrepreneurial spirit was awakened, and he built potential income streams to support his family. These range from amateur photography, being a garden boy, to amateur boxing, to playing football for the then Zulu Royals. His involvement in sport was initially birthed out of desperation to fend off poverty through the stipends that he received from Zulu Royals, for example. Thankfully, his passion for sport was sustained, and he took on playing tennis at a provincial and a national level, an avid 5-kilometer runner, twice a week, I might add, even at the age of 75 years, and subsequently golf, which was another love of his later life. These early life challenges under the repressive apartheid system were character defining for Justice Mthiyane. His values of excellence, humility, and integrity were formed and shaped during this period, which underpinned much of Justice Mthiyane's life. Justice Mthiyane finished his high school and was awarded a bursary to study social work at University of Zululand, Ongoye. He was on this career path until one of his childhood friends, Mr. Ernest Mkhunu, who is now also late, swayed him from social work to law on the basis that lente social work keke into abafazi. And so his legal career began. My father's work ethic, commitment to hard work, which he has passed on to all of his children, saw him obtaining his B.Juris from Ongoye in 1984 and later obtained his LLB and LLM respectively from the then University of Natal Howard College. KK, as he was fondly known, was an exemplary family man. In 1969, he met the woman of his dreams, Ndwedwe Phyllis Kuzwai. Although Ndwedwe, who was then a qualified nursing sister, at the time Ubaba was just a general laborer, sweeping floors at the sugar terminals in Maiden Wharf. Love won the day, and KK married up when he married Ndwedwe on the 9th of December 1972. Justice Mthiyane loved Makhuzwayo unconditionally, joined at her hip, in awe of her very existence and the aura around her. Much like a teenager, Ubaba was smitten with our mother's internal and external beauty until the day she took her last breath, a few days before he took his last breath. The bond between KK and his wife was a heaven on earth experience for all of us who were privileged to experience and be influenced by. The same attention to detail and dedication that Justice Mthiyane showed towards his wife, he would also display towards his children. His family was everything to him. The heaven on earth bond between Khayelihle and Makhuzwayo birthed 5 girls: Bajabulile, Zamantungwa, Tembakazi, Zanele, and Ayanda. Tembakazi, Justice Mthiyane's 3rd daughter, went to be with the Lord on the 16th of February 1999. This was to be the most painful defining moment for Ubaba Noma and our whole family to have lived through. Him losing a child at a young age was a moment when Justice Mthiyane had to confront the reality that not everything in life can be controlled. And one of his favorite sayings was, "Never stress about anything that you cannot control." Beyond raising his own children, Justice Mthiyane steadfastly identified, fostered, educated, mentored, and sponsored many deserving children, some of whom he took to his own home to live with and treated as his own offsprings. Never losing hope, with some of the unsuccessful mentees, he forged ahead with his ideal of empowering the helpless. Justice Mthiyane was an advocate for others to succeed. He lived to bring out the best in others, and wherever he could, build bridges for others to walk on in order to achieve greater things for themselves. Being a father of girls and being raised by a young single mother, women empowerment was a cause very close to Justice Mthiyane's heart. In fact, it is what normal should look like as far as he was concerned. He made invaluable contribution to shaping upcoming legal minds in every institution he was involved in. Being a member of council of the University of Pretoria for an incredible tenure of 17 years was an epitome of his commitment to the growth and development of the next generation. The same intensity that he showed towards his total strangers, he would also show to his friends, who are too many to mention. During his lifetime, KK formed many great friendships and relationships. Ubenenhliziyo evulelekile ngendlela eyisimanga ubaba. In his professional capacity, Justice Mthiyane lived, walked, and breathed excellence and distinction. After graduating from University of Zululand, Justice Mthiyane qualified as an attorney in 1975, and true to his entrepreneurial spirit, he started his law firm the very same day that he came from admission, using a borrowed desk and a chair. With hindsight of his own upbringing, it was no surprise that Justice Mthiyane's focus on representing the poor and less advantaged was part of his mission that saw him take up political, criminal, and civil cases. In 1984, Justice Mthiyane was admitted to the bar and went on to take up silk as a senior advocate. Justice Mthiyane was a consummate professional, and his stellar work gained him respect amongst his peers and eventually recognition when he was appointed a judge of the KwaZulu-Natal Division of the High Court in 1997. Justice Mthiyane was later appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court of Appeal, and after serving for some years in that court, was appointed its deputy president, which is the position he held until he retired in 2014. He also served as a chairperson of the Electoral Court and chairperson of the Commission of Inquiry into the remuneration and conditions of service in the public service and public entities. Justice Mthiyane also served as an acting justice of the Constitutional Court at some stage. Justice Mthiyane made a significant contribution to the cause of justice in this country through his work as a judge, including his contribution to jurisprudence, as well as through the various roles he played in various committees and judiciary. He was part of the team of judges and magistrates that accompanied Chief Justice Mogoeng on his fact-finding mission in various jurisdictions abroad to study the best practices for the enhancement of, among others, access to justice, judicial education, and judicial case management. As I've extensively shared, Ubaba lived a full life, an all-rounded human being who never allowed his professional life to take away from his first love, uMakhuzwayo, and his family. He also had another first love, which was sports and golf in particular. As a former amateur Zulu Royals player, he was a die-hard AmaZulu supporter. Usut. He was an unwavering Arsenal supporter though. He was a Ghana. He was a Ghana for life. In fact, Justice Mthiyane passed away in the midst of his mission to recruit the younger family members into the Arsenal family, because the older ones were taken by the Manchesters of this world, by buying them Arsenal memorabilia from his visits to the Emirates Stadium to watch his favorite team live in action. Sports was life for Justice Mthiyane. Never want to play even a single game of golf purely for fun, but for the life lessons that golf teaches you. One of the happiest moments of his life was traveling to watch the US Open at Augusta National and being privileged to experience live the historic moment of when Tiger Woods made the now legendary comeback. Every golfer's dream. All that Justice Mthiyane did and achieved in his professional life was always underpinned by humility. A man who never wore his professional accolades as a badge to look down on others or elevate himself above another. Even on the day when a security guard at a hotel he was staying in, seeing him often, asked him what he does for a living. And when he told that security guard what he does for a living, that he was a judge, the security guard laughed at his face in disbelief, because according to that security guard, Ubaba looked nothing like a great man that he was. Justice Mthiyane is survived by 4 girls, Bajabulile, Zamantungwa, Zanele, and Ayanda, and 8 grandchildren, Mangaliso, Ndalo, Letuthando, Malibongwe, Mbulelo, Owethu, Minenhle, and Uyikokwethu. Baba's memory shall forever live in our hearts and minds. Uyibekile induku ebandla sokhulu. Hamba kahle babwakhe. Hamba kahle our kinder dad. Hamba kahle Sikhangane. Sikhangane sakhanga amadoda. Ndaba. Zondo sohlasa. Ntungwa lamantungwa. Sokhulu Nqoboka. Nguni kaManekwane. Luvuno Mdladla. Mdladla odla abantu. Mzwili Dlemdlem. Mthanti owathanda izizwe zonkana.